So welcome back to another episode of my trading post guides. Today we're gonna take a look at how you can make gold using investment strategies. I'm Summer, and without much further ado, let's jump right in. So a short disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice for the real world. It's for Guild Wars 2. So with that out of the way, let's start about what is investment. So investment is generally the strategy of buying something when you think the price is low, when it's not worth that much, and selling it at a later point in time for much more, And time scale that you actually buy and sell is not clearly defined. So it can be that you buy something one day and a week later you sell it again. It might be a month later, it might be a year later. It's not clearly defined, depends on the item that you want to invest in. So the quantity that you invest in might also differ depending on how much one item is worth. If it's really small, the value of one single item, you can invest way more into the quantity. If you have a bigger item that costs way more, you might not buy that many of them. So that's always a really important part to consider as well. And you can even trade for one day. So in the morning, it might be way cheaper than in the evening. That also is sometimes the case. Always depends on the items. I will give you some examples, but be aware, not all of them are always profitable and you have to research or think for your own what you can invest in. If you any value, if I say invest into this, because if a lot of people do this, it might not work at all, And therefore, I will just show you examples about thinking strategies and then you might come up with some cool items yourself that you can then make some gold from. Cool thing about investment is that you just do it once or twice whenever you feel like it, invest into something, and then you just spend your time elsewhere. And then when you come back after weeks, months, whatever, and you sell them, you made profit. So you don't have to waste any time doing anything in the trading post. You just list and sell. That's really easy. Don't have to check anything else. Before I continue, I would like to tell you that only a small percentage of you are subscribed. So if you enjoy this video and want to help me and my channel, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. If you want to support me even more, check out my YouTube or Patreon memberships and receive some fancy special benefits. Now back to the video. So now to the examples. So we have some examples for the short term. Let me show you. So for the short term, we have examples like this here, the unstable grift motivation. So this drops rather frequently, but it actually changes over the course of the week. So you can see there is quite a bit of change. So sometimes you can buy it for 7 gold and can sell it for over 9 gold. If you find times where it's really cheap to buy, most often the case on Mondays, then it will increase over time. Sometimes you can sell it at the end of the week for over 9 gold. So that's actually a really easy item that you can easily flip, so to say, or invest in. You can buy it on Monday, sell it later. That's the difference to flipping. Flipping would be you get it and instantly sell it again for a higher price. That doesn't work here often. Sometimes it does, but often it's just you wait a little bit longer and you get more money out of it. That's really important to understand. Be sure to check out my flipping video if you hadn't before. Link is in the top right hand corner, because it explains very detailed how flipping works, and then you understand what the difference to investment is. Another example would of course be antique summoning stones. So antique summoning stones give you, is really easy to acquire for a lot of people, and therefore we can clearly see a trend. At the beginning, when there's reset on Monday, the price will go down, over the course of time. And then over the course of the week, it goes up again because a lot of people sold it already on Monday or Tuesday. And if you can make use out of that, you can buy cheap and sell later at a later time of the week for a little bit more value. That's what is really short-term investment looks like. But you can also go for winter stay gift, for example, which would be a really good example for long-term investment. So you buy them when there is a really high supply. And that's often the case when the event is going on, so the seasonal event like winter stay. The prices drop then. You can see we have in December here, when the normal winter stay is happening, between 3 and 4 silver buy orders. And then as soon as the, mid of January is, it will slowly, but really slowly and steady increase over the course of the year. If you then sell your acquired items, you might even get double the price for it. Of course, there is not that much demand in as well, but in the end, you get a lot of value from doing this. Be aware, of course, that's over 1 year that you sell this stuff, so you can't expect your return to be immediate, you know, so you have to invest some gold that is sitting in the trading post. Another example would be, of course, candy corn. Any event stuff could work like that. And it's not like that's a big secret, you know. So if you do that, you will for sure make profit, because that's just how people use and play the game. So when there is the event, they sell stuff because they want immediate profit. And if you can wait, if you are patient, you might just make profit. And it doesn't matter if I tell you, because that will work next year for sure as well. It's just how it works. If you look at it, it's always like that. There's always those bumps in there. Of course, be aware that, of course, the price might still drop or rise depending on what they add into the item or with what you can buy with those. So you never know. So that's a little bit of speculation as well. Other stuff that I can highly recommend are, of course, valuable skins like chaos skins, for example, that are really hard to acquire. And most of the time it's rather RNG based. And when they are easy to acquire because they are currently in the backline chest, they go way down in price. And then if you invest a lot, you can then buy them and sell them for a later price. You can see now they are almost 700 gold, some weapons. And if you look over the all-time stuff, they were down to 200 gold at some point. And if you bought them, you might a profit of over 400 gold, you know. And if you do that multiple times, you can make huge amounts of profit for not spending that much time, you know. You just invest some gold into it. That's the only thing that you do. Not time, just gold. And you get it multiple times of the investment back. Just be aware though, this is of course always a little bit, you can't expect it to be always in February you get it and then you sell it in July or something. It's a little bit dependent on what ArenaNet does, you know. Another example would be, for example, these minis that are in the blackline chest. Sometimes they are really cheap. This time they are really expensive currently. So 3 gold already. And now this one is 90 silver or something. So it always depends if you want to invest in and think over time they will increase or they will just stay the same. It always depends. But that's what investment is, you know. I can't tell you always do this. You know, just think about it for yourself. That's the important part. The last thing I want to talk about is the speculation. So investment can be some kind of really periodically and you get some nice return because the Winter's Day gift is always behaving like that. But you can also speculate a bit because you think, okay, that might benefit me, you know. And examples would be, for example, if you knew that Jade Runestones would be highly used in the Arena legendaries, you can see that before they came out, they were actually not that expensive. But when the Arena variants came out, it quadrupled in price. So if you can manage this, if you expect this, or if you, for some extent, predict this, you can make a huge amount of money, of course. And this is not always the case for a lot of items, but if you are somewhat smart regarding legendary crafting or new updates, you can make huge amounts of money, you know. So just wanted to mention that because that's not something that I made a lot of gold from it. I did not, but people might do that if you can benefit and predict stuff. So just wanted to mention that. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for watching and I hope to see you in the next video.